Hello and welcome to Profiles in Risk. This is your host Tony Cañas, and today I'm recording the second in a double header. I'm recording with Patrick Koeller. I believe that yes. I have like a 50-50 chance most nights of getting the last name right. So Patrick is the CTO at When Insurance. Patrick, thank you for joining me today. How's it going?
It's going great. How are you?
Fantastic, better than fantastic, high on life, basically. Uh, and it looks like on LinkedIn that you are in Chicago. So
Yeah.
it's June in Chicago, so it's either gorgeous or burning hot.
Neither. It's been a weird year. It's a solid like mid 50s and raining.
Mid 50s and raining. Okay. Okay. So I myself, this is, I think, the third podcast episode that I record in my new temporary home base in Buenos Aires, Argentina. So for us, it's winter. And I'm actually, like, you're in Central. I normally live in Eastern. I'm actually in Atlantic time. So I'm actually 2 hours ahead of you, 1 hour ahead of Eastern. So it's 6 p.m. for me. And over here, it's winter. Now, winter in Buenos Aires is not winter in Chicago. Like, it's like wear a sweater and you're good. Like, no snow, no like 0 degree days. It's actually quite beautiful. It's like San Francisco, basically. Um,
Sounds
so
far
anyway,
more pleasant.
yes. I am so like I'm loving the winter here. I like it a little bit cold, not Midwestern cold.
Mhm.
Much less Chicago cold. Okay, awesome. Patrick, we always give the guest the chance. I just lost power. I don't know why, but I should have enough power to make it through a recording. Thank you. I'm getting replugged in. Perfect. Thank you. So Argentina uses, for unexplainable reasons, most of the Americas use the normal plug. Argentina uses Australian plugs, not even European. This is the most
Hmm.
European country in the American continent. They use Australian type plugs. Explain that to me. No idea. Okay. So so I'm living with a bunch of adapters basically, and one of them just
Yeah.
fell off. But it's been replugged. Okay. So Patrick, we always give the guest the chance to give the elevator pitch. What is When Insurance?
Yeah. One insurance is on a mission to do one large thing, and that's protect people's ability to afford health insurance in between jobs. And we've built out two products to do that. Yeah. Like,
This is already amazing. I'm already a fan. You you can you could lose me if you're not doing this right, but I'm already a fan. Okay, so helping people retain good health insurance in between jobs in the U.S. in the horrible,
yes.
horrific, non-functional health insurance market of the U.S.
Yep.
Tell me more.
Where you lose your job and you may have been paying $200 while employed, and now your Cobra premiums are 800. If you're family, it's $1,700 on average.
Right when you literally can't afford them because you just lost your job.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's what we're trying to solve. And recently, like over COVID, the government stepped in and paid everyone's Cobra because they know like it's no one can afford it anyways. So we've built an insurance product to cover that risk. So ideally, an employer will pay for this for their employees, just monthly
Ah,
premium on insurance. Whoever they
so
let go gets covered.
okay, so it's a benefit, basically.
Mhm.
My employer buys this benefit, and if there's a layoff, if right, if I end up
Or
separated from people,
performance, doesn't matter why, as long as it's not something like gross misconduct, like you set the building on fire.
so basically,
Anything short of that, you're good.
so very similar to the unemployment system in most states in the U.S., where as long as it wasn't gross negligence, you're probably covered by the unemployment insurance, except
Yep,
through the private market and for health.
correct.
This is
So it's a
amazing. I had
far
no
lower
idea.
premium than like there's a lot of products up there for like salary replacement, but those are
Uh-huh.
all hundreds of dollars a month because you're replacing your full salary rather than just your health insurance coverage.
Okay, so the giant insurance nerd in me, who knows a lot about PNC, a little bit about life, and very little about health, other than the fact that it doesn't work in the states, uh, is very curious. So once a loss happens, which in this case, I don't even know if you call that a loss, but once there's a downsizing or a firing, not for gross negligence, and a person is now making a claim for health coverage, not a health claim, okay?
Mhm.
Are you basically just covering their COBRA payments, or are you becoming my health carrier while I'm unemployed?
No, we are just covering your premium payments. So you have the ability to select Cobra. You can go to a private medical option through like a Blue Cross Blue Shield, or you can even go find a short-term medical option that's far cheaper, but will cover you while you're in between jobs.
So I have choices. I can really, within the awful choices of the U.S. unemployed market, uh, I, which by the way, that's where I get my help now because I'm self-employed
Mhm.
now. My girlfriend
Yeah.
also left her corporate job for greener pastures, so we're both self-employed basically. Uh, Maybe the reason we're sitting in Argentina, or a partial reason. Uh, so okay, so I get choices. Basically, you're providing me a certain amount of money to use to make sure that I can get decent health coverage while I'm in between jobs.
Yep.
How did this not exist already? Or did it?
It has it has baffled us for the past 2 years while we built out the insurance product that no one else has done it. And every time we went to a meeting with an insurance carrier to build out the policy and everything, they're all like, no, like we've never heard of this, never seen anyone try it. So it took us a while to find a carrier that was like, yes, like this is a great idea, it's needed, and we're willing to figure it out with you.
It reminds me a lot of Parento. The first parental leave private health insurance in the U.S. Started by a friend of mine, and he was on the podcast very early on in the journey, and now they're actually like this thing is actually live. Okay, so on LinkedIn you're listed as running this for the last 2 years and 10 months. Uh, how long of that has the product been live?
So the insurance benefit actually goes live July 1st. So it's taken that long to build out all the modeling, get all the compliance stuff figured out. Launching a new line of business is not easy and takes a long time.
Absolutely,
So
absolutely.
that launches
Uh,
July 1st, and then we have our offboarding platform that we launched March this year for the Transform conference.
Offboarding platform. Tell me about the platform.
Yeah, so that works in conjunction with the benefit, or you can buy it separately. Essentially, we are taking offboarding away from here's an email of all of your information and good luck to here's a company that will support you. They'll help you roll over your 401k, will help you find your next health insurance, and then all the other services you need in between jobs like career coaching, uh, placement services, resume building. All that will funnel through our offboarding platform. So you just have one spot to go if you lose your job.
How how is this distributed, or how will it be distributed? Is it through the traditional broker network? Is it a direct? Uh,
We're going to do a little bit of both. We'll always pull in the broker if one exists, but we'll also go direct to employers to, especially for the education aspect being a new benefit.
mhm.
And for employers, like a lot of the education's around, you're paying this usually today. If you lay people off, you're giving them 1 month, 2 months of Cobra coverage. But rather than give them the expensive Cobra plan and they stay on your risk profile, give them the one benefit so they can go find what's right for them in between jobs.
Is there any deductible?
For the benefit, no. It'll be day one, you lose your job, you can make the claim as soon as you pay premium.
So the former middle market underwriter in me and the CPCU in me is very curious how this is underwritten.
We're underwriting it at the employer level. So it'll be like the risk of the employer, the stability of the company, how much turnover they have. So that's
Okay,
where it's
so
focused at that level. So all their employees, the risk of them losing their jobs, more what's the risk at the employer, not the individual.
okay, so it's underwritten and priced similarly to my limited understanding, since I'm a PNC guy, not a benefits guy, but similarly to, let's say, unemployment insurance, where if we're given to fire people, our unemployment
Mhm.
expense is going to be higher.
Yeah. similar to that, and then like D&O, where it's looking at like company financials and
Okay.
understanding that.
This is freaking fascinating. I wish we were having a beer in Chicago. I don't drink beer, but for the most part, but like
Whiskey works better for me.
what works better for you?
Yeah, whiskey.
Whiskey. That's way too strong for me. But definitely, I hope that you're attending. Well, Elisa Stamp is the one that introduced us, so I'm assuming that you are attending the Insure Equality Summit coming up in Chicago in September. If you will be there, track me down. I'm the guy with the top hat, black top hat, red jacket. Track me down and be like, hey, Tony, you said you wanted to pick my brain about how this thing is built and how it's gone since July 1st when we went live. This
Yeah,
is
definitely. I'll be on one of the panels there talking about
perfect,
offboarding as well.
perfect. This is super exciting. Um, what's the chassis of this thing? Is this built as in a benefits chassis? Is this built in a disability chassis? Like, and chassis might not be the right word, but
Yeah.
how is this how is this thing built insurance wise? How did you file this thing to the state with the state? And
That's
which
been
states
one of the
is
most
available?
complicated things we've tried to figure out.
Uh huh.
Originally, we thought it would fall under A&H,
Uh huh.
given that we're handling health premiums, but
Uh huh.
we ended up, it's a PNC product, and we're going surplus lines so we can get nationwide coverage quickly without dealing with all the product filings.
Perfect. So,
But probably
so
sometime in the next couple of years, we'll go mainstream and file PNC.
but I wouldn't even say mainstream. Mainstream. We'll go admitted.
Yeah,
And I bet you that you will find that it probably makes sense to maintain both a non-admitted and an admitted products.
yeah.
Uh, okay, so it's a PNC ENS product. Right now, July 1st, will you be available in Illinois and 3 other states or
We can write nationwide July 1st. We're focusing Midwest down through Texas to start, just to get more stable companies, less of the kind of, there's been a lot of stuff happening in tech, so we're avoiding the coasts a little bit, but if someone came to us, we would definitely make it work.
so you're saying that San Francisco Tech and New York Finance might not be the best place to start writing this product?
May not be the best, but we do think it's very captivating for like a post layoff for like a tech company to bring
Yeah, for
stability
real.
where
For real.
you walk by like, yeah, we had to lay people off, but now here,
That's
everyone has this benefit. Anyone we lay off in the future, you're guaranteed this money.
I thought that Dirk Dobler, founder of Parento, was the craziest human I had ever had on the podcast, and he's like a super even keel type person. Chris Stanley is the craziest human I've ever had on the podcast, and I say that with lots of love for Chris. But like basically like when I first chatted with Dirk at Parento, the first conversation was not a podcast recording. The first conversation was a like, we want to do this. What do you think? And I was like, I'm
Hmm.
not uh, a benefits guy. This is amazing, and here's 25 ideas on who you might want to talk to. But you have to be insane. Like there are 10,000 things within insurance that you could do that are easier than this. Uh, so
We did
social.
not have an insurance background, so that's the only reason we did this.
Okay, perfect. I was gonna say socially, I am so happy somebody's doing this, and I am immediately a big fan of you guys. Uh, but but
Thanks.
But when it comes to insurtech ideas, this is one of the hardest ones to do. Uh,
It
so basically, you had to
definitely been a
not
big learning curve.
you had to not be from insurance to be crazy enough to try this. Basically, so how did the idea come to you, or how did this come to happen?
Yeah, Dan Wertheimer, our chief strategy officer, had the idea back in 2008 during the housing crisis there. And he had lost his job, went on Cobra, went back to school, and was like, there's got to be something better than this.
So it's
And ever
15,
since then, nothing has happened. And he,
so it's
our,
15 years of incubation in
yeah,
his head.
yep. And then our CEO, Andy, and I lost our jobs during COVID. We were working at Expedia at the time, and no one was traveling anymore. So they downsized our department, which was a recent acquisition for them. And
Mhm.
Dan bothered Andy again, and Andy pulled me in. I'm like, no, this is a great idea, and no idea what we were getting into because we didn't have an insurance background, but
Yeah, yeah,
we
yeah,
knew we
yeah.
could we knew we could do the technology of it.
Yeah, those are the famous last words of every other insurtech is, we can totally do the technology. Yeah, it's not the problem. Like, it's not the hard part. I mean, I know our technology sucks historically, but that's not like insurtechs generally don't die on bad technology. They
Mhm.
die on never being able to get the thing through regulation. They die on never being able to sell the thing. They die on scaling too quickly because they think they've made a sale and they're 2 years away from making a sale. They die on not being able to find the right talent. They die on not being able to find funding. They die on IPOing, convincing the market that they are a tech company when they're not. Right?
Mhm.
Okay. Okay. Hey, will all three founders, are you guys all Chicago based?
Yeah, we're all Chicago based here.
Okay. Will all three of you be at the at the summit at the Insure Equality Summit, or just you?
Yeah, we all plan to be there.
Perfect. So, okay. So here's what we're gonna do. Okay. I I'm gonna be cutting this episode a little bit short, and I will get it out there because I want to make as much noise as I can for you. Like I said, I'm already a big fan. Uh, I in September in Chicago, the three of us are gonna record an in-person episode. I've been doing some of
Okay.
those lately, and they're a lot of fun. And we'll dig a lot deeper into this, into how it works and how you guys built it, and how it's gone for the first couple of months since going live. Until
Yeah, that'd
then,
be great.
uh, uh, please keep me posted on how I can help you guys get this thing off the ground because it is such an important thing for society.
Mhm.
I hope that you guys are the next insurtech what's it called, unicorns, in a sustainable way. I honestly, I hope that you
Yeah.
retire off of this like 5 years from now because it becomes such a huge success. Because socially, it's so important that you get this right. Uh,
Mhm.
so this is super, super, super exciting. So for potential clients that are listening, so anybody that runs a company, or
Mhm.
for benefits brokers that are listening, uh, why and how can they learn more in order to start selling your product?
Why and how? So why? Because most companies are already spending this money anyways. If you are giving any form of health insurance severance for people you lay off, which
Fair enough.
90% of companies do, you're just
Okay,
transitioning these one-off costs into a insurance product. So you have stable
perfect.
costs. If something happens in the economy, your rates aren't going to triple, but if you're paying this out of pocket, yeah, that's going to triple.
Okay.
So it's more stable product. Very easy to learn more. You can go to 41.com. We have a bunch of information out there. You can also email us at info@41 and we'll set up more meetings.
So, I as we finish up here, I do have one more question. The name
Yeah.
for when I have an accent, so people might not be understanding me correctly. For when, as in WHEN, as in
Yep.
where does the
For
name?
when you need us. Uh,
Perfect. I
we
love
had
it.
a different name before and we talked with a branding agency and they brought this to us and we're like, that is perfect.
Somebody deserves a promotion. Somebody deserves a promotion, and I hope you guys keep using them. This is absolutely fantastic. What it made me think of is uh, in our modern age, the modern employment world in the US, in the 21st century, in 2023, when we're chatting, and this is not going to change. Uh, my brother, who's sitting here by me, who's starting college literally in 2 months at KU, it is not a matter of if he will ever lose a job,
Mhm.
regardless of how good he might be. Someday he will get downsized because
Yeah.
we all get hit by it eventually. So my girlfriend's literally going like, "That's not very nice of you." No, no, like let's assume that my brother Andres is going to be an incredible performer, okay? Like my girlfriend Renee is. Uh, just the way the economy works. Someday you'll get caught in a layoff,
Mhm.
even if it's not performance related, right?
Correct.
So
It,
it's not a matter of if. This is a big deal for literally every professional worker in the U.S.
mhm.
There will
Like
be a
we've gone
win.
through so many industry-wide transitions that resulted in large percentages of entire industries having to change jobs. Like
Yep.
automotive changed, tech changed. With
I,
COVID, like retail and hospitality all did. Like it's gonna
I'm a
happen
history
sooner or later,
nerd.
no matter what industry you're in.
I'm a history nerd. I was shortly out of college. I was 3 years out of college in '09. I didn't get that. No, I actually did later. Yeah, I did get hit by that one. It actually brought me into insurance. And then then I got to see the COVID recession. Although I was in insurance by then, and insurance held really strong as it always does. But sadly, recessions and thus layoffs, and even layoffs without recessions, they're not a bug in the system. This is the design of the system, right? Right
It's
now,
just a correction.
exactly, it's a correction, and the problem is not the fact that a correction is happening; is the fact that the U.S. doesn't have a safety net for those corrections,
Yeah.
right?
So the,
While at the same time, it's been 30 years, 30 plus years, where the middle class hasn't had a raise in real terms, right? So
mhm.
you have a middle class that hasn't had a raise in 30 years, where it now takes two working people to make a normal middle class income. What used to be one working parent. Needless to say, I'm a Bernie bro. I'm not putting any political words in your mouth, just who I am. And the average American would have a hard time coming up with $400 for an emergency without going into debt, right? The
Mhm.
research is clear on that. And layoffs and recessions are not a bug in the system. They're a feature, sadly, right? Right now,
Yeah.
Jerome Powell keeps increasing interest rates, and again, I'm getting way too political here. And Elizabeth Warner is absolutely right. I might actually take the clip and put it as part of the episode. What he's doing is quite literally, in order to fight inflation, the only tool he has is increase unemployment. 2 million people will lose their job in order to get us to the level of inflation that the Fed wants. And that's not the problem. The problem is we don't have the safety net that the Nordic countries have. And
Yeah.
you are in the private market attempting to build a part of that safety net. And my friend, I salute you. I like hats off to you. I wish you great success in this endeavor because this is something that's important for society. I don't know if I lost you. I don't know if
Thanks.
you ran away because of the political
No.
comments. Anyway, let's leave it
Loved
there
it.
for
Like this
today.
is the first time I've picked a startup based on what I actually wanted to be building. And I was like, no, like everyone in the country could use this.
No kidding. No kidding. Thank you for coming on today. Looking forward to record live in September. Looking forward to meet you. And again, thank you for your service. I look forward to see you guys succeed.
Thank you.
Awesome.